They say you either love them or you hate them. Brussels sprouts. They don't have to be bitter. Cooked properly, they have a sweet and nutty flavor. And with my special family recipe, you're bound to love them. Today we're preparing celebration sides. Garlic butter Brussels sprouts, maple glazed sweet potato, and my favorite, cardamom scented cranberry sauce. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Thanks so much for joining me. Every holiday has its main course, turkey, ham, whatever. But what I think makes the meal are the side dishes, those treasures of taste that make it the best holiday meal ever. In my family, that's garlic butter Brussels sprouts, maple glazed sweet potato, and cardamom scented cranberry sauce. Let's get right to it. The first thing I'm gonna start with is the cranberry sauce because that needs to cook and cool. I'm just gonna make a small batch of this. So we need 1 cup of cranberries and a 1/4 cup of water. And I always start just cooking the cranberries with the water to start with. And then after the cranberries have broken down a bit, that's when I add the sugar. Because if you add the sugar too early, the pectin in the cranberry sauce will set before the berries have cooked. So we'll get that going. Okay, we're gonna start that simmering, and then right away we'll get into cutting our sweet potatoes. So I'm just making a small batch of this, but obviously for a holiday meal, you can scale it up or scale it down. So we're gonna cut this into thin slices. So we're making this kind of like a scalloped potato style dish. But it's going to have some orange zest, orange juice, maple syrup, and butter. All right, so I have some other ones cut right here, and I'm just going to add those to the dish. This is a small dish, but you could do it in a much larger one, like the one that's double the size. You're going to take your sweet potatoes, and we are going to arrange them in this kind of scalloped layer like this, just because that looks very pretty. So it kind of helps to keep your sweet potato together because then, then it's easier to arrange it in this nice little scallop over here. So it's a bit hard to say how much sweet potato you need, but generally 2 for a pan this size and 3 for a pan double the size. I'm just gonna stir my cranberries. Make sure they're cooking and turn them down. So cranberry sauce can be made several days ahead. With holiday meals, you really want to have as much make-ahead stuff as possible, so cranberry sauce is one of the best and easiest, and just making your own cranberry sauce makes such a difference. Okay, back to our sweet potatoes. So we have this pan basically full. Now what I'm going to do is, I'll put this over here. Now I've got a little bit of melted butter right here, and I'm going to add some orange zest, orange juice, and some maple syrup. So that's 2 tablespoons melted butter. We're gonna do the zest of half an orange. So you just wanna keep rubbing it over until you have half of it. And that just gives a nice scent to our sweet potatoes. You could skip the zest if you wanted to. I just really like it in there. And then we're just gonna put juice of half an orange in there, and I'm gonna get this is one of my most famous kitchen tools. It's an antique juicer. If you ever see one of these in a secondhand store, a lot of people don't know what they are, so they sell them for really cheap, but it is the juicer that will never die. There you go. Then we're gonna add some maple syrup. So about 2 to 3 tablespoons. You don't wanna overwhelm it or make it like candy. Like we're trying to avoid, like the marshmallow, brown sugar casserole. I mean, if you like that one, then absolutely that's great, but I like just the mild hint of sweetness from the maple syrup. And then I'm gonna get a fork and just whisk that up. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour that all over. Try to get it evenly all over. There you go. And then we're gonna cover that with foil. Or if you have a lid, you can definitely put the lid on. But you want it to have a tight seal. So what we're doing here is a 2-stage cooking process. So we're gonna cook it half the time with the foil on or the lid on and kind of create some steam and make sure the sweet potatoes are cooked without getting leathery and dry. And then halfway through, we're gonna take the foil off, we're gonna flip the sweet potatoes, and then we're gonna put them back in the oven so they caramelize and get a nice glaze. So I'm gonna throw these in the oven. And of course, I'm gonna pull the ones that I have already half done. But just before I deal with that, I'm just gonna very quickly go back to our cranberry sauce. So you can see the berries are starting to break down a little bit here. If I push them with the back of a spoon, they break apart. So now is when I would add my sugar and my spices. So we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Okay, and we're also gonna add some spices. So the main spice in this dish is cardamom. So you can add as much or as little as you want. I'm making quite a small batch of cranberry sauce. So I'm just adding like half a teaspoon of cardamom. And to enhance those flavors, I'm adding a little bit of ground ginger. I definitely use ground ginger for this, not fresh ginger. Fresh ginger is pretty intense, and this one you want the cranberry and the cardamom to come out. And then just like the littlest pinch of cinnamon. You have to be careful not to put too much cinnamon in a dish when you're putting cardamom, because cardamom has like a more delicate and floral flavor. And cinnamon is a pretty intense flavor. So we're just gonna mix that together. And what will happen now is the sugar will make the pectin in the cranberries activate. It'll thicken it, it'll make this beautiful and glossy. And while it's cooking, all the spices will really permeate the sauce. Let's look at our sweet potatoes. Look at those. Okay, so we're halfway done. So if possible, sometimes it's a little tricky to flip them, but I do like to flip them so that the bottoms of the sweet potato, which have been cooking in this beautiful glaze, get exposed to the oven. Okay, so we flip it all over. And then sometimes if there's a little extra glaze in the bottom, sometimes I tilt it and just kind of make sure to pour some glaze over the top for the final cooking. So these are cooked about halfway. So we're looking for the sweet potatoes to get cooked more and also to get that really nice shiny glaze. So I'm just gonna put these back in the oven. We'll be back later in the show to pull together our celebration sides, the garlic butter Brussels sprouts. But first, we're on the road. See you after the break.
Cooking on the Road is brought to you by Country Grocer, your local store where you'll feel like family.
I'm here at Michell Farm Market in Saanich. It's one of my favorite places in the South Island. And I'm here with the owner, Terry Michell, one of the owners. And he's gonna show me some of the amazing stuff that you grow.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, we have cauliflower available, and we have that pretty much throughout the year. We grow, we plant in the spring, and this is our first harvest this time of the year. We usually have cauliflower right through the fall, and then in the spring we have other varieties that we also harvest right out of the field.
And then over here I'm seeing some fennel.
We have fennel.
That you grow?
Yeah, this is our products. The lettuce is our product.
All this lettuce is yours?
Yeah, the fancy lettuce, the leaf romaine, and the iceberg.
Okay.
We ship that. We have it here at our market, plus we also ship quite a bit to the local stores.
Kohlrabi.
The kohlrabi is ours. Yes, that's kohlrabi.
This is one of my favorite vegetables. I feel like it's an underdog. It tastes so good. It's so sweet and crunchy.
Yeah, and I eat that right in the field. I'll just cut one up and eat it like an apple. It's so tasty, like you say.
So good. It's so good.
And the broccoli's ours. That and the cauliflower is planted every 12 to 14 days. but the lettuce is planted every 4 to 5 days.
Oh my goodness.
So that we have a continuous supply of fresh product to harvest.
So in order to do that, you must have a huge farm. It must be bigger than I realized.
We have, 400 to 500 acres.
Oh, wow. Look at all these berries. This is amazing.
Yeah, just a wide selection. This is the right time of the year to visit the farms in the area.
And these strawberries look amazing.
Yes, they are. Just, why don't you try one?
Oh, I will.
Or two.
Or two. You don't have to twist my arm. Oh, they are so sweet. Is this a special variety?
This is the Rainier variety, yes.
And they're known to be really sweet.
They're known to be very sweet. They don't really hold too well after they're harvested, like a day or two.
Right.
But because we pick them ready to eat.
Right.
Right off the vine. So
pick them and eat them. Pick them and make a
pick them
shortcake.
and- yeah, exactly.
Oh, delicious. And I see you also sell your own beef here.
Yes, we do. We raise our own beef. We raise the feed for them, and we raise our young cattle. And some of the cuts that we would have, the sirloins, and we have wide selection.
Yeah.
We have the ground beef. We have.
I see you have some ribeyes down there too.
Yeah, strip loins. Oh, there's many, and this is fresh, and we also have frozen.
So I imagine this is the beef that's used in the restaurant on the property.
Yes, it is. It's used at Harvest Road, my daughter's restaurant behind our market here. And when you stop and eat here or purchase here, it's a very close diet.
Right. So when it says Harvest Road, they mean like harvested on this road.
Exactly.
So this is Harvest Road. I knew about this place, but I didn't know it was run by your daughter.
Yes.
So this is a multi-generational farm situation?
Yes, it is, yeah. Well, I'm the 5th generation and they're the 6th.
Wow, so this farm has been here since 1860s?
1860s, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for showing me around
Thank you very much
showing
for
me
coming
the
out.
fields and the market and this delicious restaurant.
Thank you for coming out.
Yes,
Glad
thanks.
to have you.
I'm
Thank
giving you
you.
back for sure. We're back in our kitchen. We're pulling together the rest of our celebration side dishes. We're gonna work on Brussels sprouts next. And right now, I really need to taste this cranberry sauce. It smells so good. You can really, really taste the cardamom in there. It's a good play against the tartness of the cranberries. So good. All right, let's work on the garlic butter for the Brussels sprouts. Now, this dish requires you to thinly slice some garlic, 3 or 4 cloves. I'm gonna go 4 because there's never too much garlic in my world. And we're gonna thinly slice that and we're gonna melt it with some butter. So I'm just very thinly slicing these cloves of garlic. And then I have some butter in the pan over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this garlic in the pan with the butter. I'm gonna start that butter melting and I'm gonna put this garlic in there. And then over here, I have some that I have finished making. So this is some beautiful brown butter with garlic. So what happens after you cook butter for a while, the milk solids in the butter start to caramelize on the bottom of the pan. It's a type of sugar actually, lactose. And so it makes this really delicious kind of caramel taste to the butter. And also we have these crispy garlics that we are gonna crumble on top of the Brussels sprouts. So first I'm gonna strain this because we wanna use this butter to roast our Brussels sprouts. So we have this crispy garlic and then we have this delicious butter. We are gonna be using both of these things. But first I wanna talk a bit about how to properly prepare Brussels sprouts for this dish. So we are gonna be roasting the Brussels sprouts. I definitely prefer roasted Brussels sprouts over steamed or boiled because they have like a nutty, kind of rich flavor rather than that kind of like Brussels sprouty flavor that we maybe don't like very much. But one of the things about Brussels sprouts is they come in all different sizes. So we've got some really big ones, we've got some smaller ones, sometimes there's like medium-sized ones. So we're gonna figure out how we can cut them so that they all end up about the same size. So these little ones, we're gonna cut them, just take the little ends off like that. Don't worry if there's leaves that fall off. So these ones, I'm just gonna cut them in half to make tiny little cabbages. And those just those halves like that, just go right in the bowl. And then these really big ones, same thing, trim off the end, and then you're going to cut them into quarters lengthwise, like that. So you wanna keep the stem attached so the Brussels sprouts don't fall apart. Then we're going to cut these ones in a quarter, this one in a quarter. So now we have this whole bunch of beautiful Brussels sprouts. Then I'm gonna get a tray. Okay, we've got this tray and we're gonna put some parchment paper on this tray. Parchment just helps it, keeps it from sticking. And then we are going to season this with some salt and pepper, just as much as you like. And then we're gonna pour the garlic butter on it. And then we're gonna toss it and put it on our baking sheet. That was enough butter for probably a much larger batch. I just really like to have extra brown garlic butter around. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pour this on this baking sheet. And it's very important that you spread it out in a thin layer. You want a baking sheet that has low sides so the hot air can really circulate over this. So you want lots of air circulation, lots of space, and I'm flipping them up so that the cut sides of the Brussels sprouts have a lot of exposure to the oven. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that in our hot oven. And it looks like our sweet potatoes are almost done. Yes, they are done. Just gonna pull these out for a second. I'm just gonna set those aside. Look at that beautiful glaze on that. The browning. And you can see that the glaze itself has started to get all shiny. Sometimes I brush it over the top as well. But I also happen to have some Brussels sprouts already roasted, so I'm gonna pull those out of the oven and show you how you would use the crumbly garlic. So here we have it. Look at how beautiful and browned those are. So you get really nice caramelization on the Brussels sprouts. Now you're gonna take this garlic. Oh no, first we're gonna put balsamic on it. So the balsamic is up to you. I really like to add the balsamic to enhance the flavor, but you can leave that out. Your decision. Then we take this beautiful crispy garlic and you can just crumble it over top, and there you go. So everybody gets the Brussels sprouts that have already been roasted in that delicious garlic butter, like I can smell it from here, with that little hit of balsamic, and then this crispy garlic on top. And you can put as much or as little of that on that you want. We've got all our pieces. Let's plate them with our turkey dinner. Through the magic of TV, I have my turkey dinner plated, ready to have our celebration sides going on the plates. So we have our delicious garlic butter Brussels sprouts, our maple glazed sweet potato, and this cardamom sauce. I also have some gravy. I'm gonna start by putting the cranberry cardamom sauce on the plates, and I always like to put it next to the turkey. Then we have our Brussels sprouts. We're gonna just throw those on there. Then we are going to put on our sweet potato. So again, try to leave some for other people. There we go. I like to flip it upside down again, but that's just me because I like the really glossy look of the glaze on this other side. I also really like how this looks on the plate, like all that beautiful garlic. And then the final touch is some gravy. I don't know about you, but my kids always really like those gravy volcanoes on their sweet potatoes and on their mashed potatoes. Looks so, so good. You should smell it in here. It smells just like Thanksgiving. There you have it. Celebration sides, the heroes of your holidays.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
A great holiday meal needs a great beverage pairing. With me is Natasha from Wild Goose to pair with this delicious holiday meal. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So today I brought the Wild Goose Classic Riesling from the 2020 vintage out of the Okanagan Falls.
So kind of a sweeter, more aromatic wine?
Yeah, it's a bit of a German heritage.
Okay.
Actually, it's a third generation German family that wine makes the wine these days.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it should go quite well with this dish. It's fairly bold flavors. And yeah, let's
So
have a
it
sip.
pairs with the bolder flavors, like say with the garlic and the Brussels sprouts?
Yeah, the earthiness of the Brussels sprouts. It has a little bit of an off-dry style to it, so a
Okay.
little sweetness. That's going to complement the sweet potatoes quite well.
Okay.
There's a nice acid too, which will play off of the cranberries.
Well, I can't wait to try
Yeah.
some. Oh yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I think though we really need to try some with the meal.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try it with like a combo Brussels sprouts sweet potato.
Absolutely, I think that's a great start. I'm going to follow suit. This just looks fabulous. Such a nice holiday dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, I can really feel that kind of playing off. You can feel both the strong Brussels sprouts and then the sweetness of the sweet potato. It mixes really well with that wine.
Yeah, and the earthiness with the boldness and the textural component of the wine definitely plays off of each other.
Yeah, that's really good.
You want the acid to kind of clean your palate, so.
So I heard recently that Wild Goose was bought by Burrowing Owl. Is that true?
So in 2021, the summer of it, the Wise is a Burrowing Owl, the family that owns and operates the winery. They purchased Wild Goose just to expand their reach in the Okanagan,
Okay.
offer something a little bit different from what they do from their estate as well. But they've kept the Kruger family, the original third generation family, totally on board. Everybody at the winery is still on board.
So it's like
very family orientated, very marrying the two styles.
Right, so marrying the two styles of the two wineries. Kind of like these sides go really well with this holiday dinner.
Absolutely, yeah, and marry really well with the wine.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's a great winery to represent. It's a great addition to the portfolio for sure that I work with. They are making fabulous wines, very aromatic style, all a little bit more off dry. The Riesling will just complement any holiday dinner quite well, whether it be like a turkey dinner, but really your dishes are going to bring out the best flavors of it. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
We would love to see your take on this meal. Share your photo and tag us on social media at Chef Heidi Fink and at Chek Media. For more information on the recipes, just follow the links below. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. The more you learn, the better it tastes. All right, let's keep eating. I can't wait to try that. I know you gotta try the turkey.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the cranberry sauce.
Oh yeah, the cardamom cranberry sauce. We didn't even talk about that.